And we are live. Hey everyone, and welcome to Conquer the Mirror Demon. My name is Tanja Andersen, and I am your host on this summit. And today we have a speaker with us. Her name is Jamie Kane. I believe your last name is Cooper or something like that, my friend. So welcome to the summit.
Copeland. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me, Tanya.
Did you say Copeland?
Yes, Jamie K. Copeland.
Okay, nice to have you here. So who is Jamie? So one of the things Jamie and I have a talk about was really this like label of mental illnesses. And one of the things that is really needed is really, as I see it, because I have get a lot of different kind of labels of, did you say because I have different kind of labels of different kind of mental illnesses. And it's just like, in my mind, it is not a mental illness because that is a label. We are a human. We are being behind. That is one of the many things that I love about Jamie's work is she don't label people for mental illnesses. She see it as I see it, as that is some people need different kind of support. Some people need different kind of tools. Some people need to go deeper, and they have different kind of areas in life we get to look at, and there's no wrong and right in it. It is just a past experience wisdom that is lying in there to wait to be unlocked, because all the challenges we are facing in life, there is so much wisdom in that for us to own it, for us to transform into it, and really being in power in it. So Jamie, can you please share about a little bit who you are and what you work for, my friend?
Yes, absolutely. So again, I'm Jamie. I own a company called Strategic You, and we help families with kiddos with ADHD. Uh, my story with this started with my own son, who is now 16 years old, and has he was diagnosed at the age of 5 with ADHD, and um, it has been well, it's been hard. It's hard as a mom to raise a child with ADHD. And I think one of the things that I've really noticed throughout the time is the lack of proper education with many out there when it comes to ADHD. And so, of course, as a mother, I did a lot of research. I went through all the different um, research out there, all the different, studies out there, everything that you can possibly think of when it comes to ADHD. And I've kept up on the latest. And once he became a middle schooler, I just got to a point where it's like, I'm tired of feeling alone and doing this all on my own. And I know there's other moms out there that feel this way. And so I started Strategic You to help and become a community that really helps families to become whole.
Oh, that is amazing. And the topic Jamie and I we will dig into is show the world otherwise. So Jamie, share about why is this topic is so important for you for us to talk about in this talk as interview we have together.
Yeah. So again, doing a lot of this research and just showing that ADHD is not a behavioral issue, it's really actually taught me a lot as well in business, is showing the world otherwise. Mindset is very important. And so I learned to teach my own children um, having a strong mindset and what that means. And it's taught me, it's like a double whammy. So it's really fun. Um, that works out that way. Our children grow us in many ways, right? So, one of the things I really wanted to speak about today, with this topic of, the mirror demon and self-talk and who we are as a person and being able to go out there and showing up in a way that is courageous, in a way that is bold, in a way that is, you know, representing us without having that self-talk that's negative, and putting that to the side. So, one of the big things that I like to say is it doesn't matter what others say, it matters how you show up. And that's something I want to talk about today. And the first topic would be humility. What is true humility? I'm someone who is very much so guilty in the past of being that person that would get a compliment from somebody and I'd be like, oh, well, but I'm not actually that great at that, or I'm not really, thank you for saying that. But, there was always a but with it, or I would put myself down somehow, right? And what does that speak to others when we do that? When we put ourselves down, we are actually speaking out that we don't have the confidence, that we are less than. And that is not what we're trying to portray. What we're actually doing is portraying false humility. And what true humility is actually is taking a compliment, right, from that person. And then if it is something where we accomplish that because of the help of somebody else, we actually start to bring up that person too. So we can choose to elevate others while we're accepting the compliment. And that's true humility.
Powerful. So tell us a little bit about like why does not matter what others say to us?
So it doesn't matter what others say to us, because you're going to have people out there everywhere that are negative Nancy's. You're going to have people out there that are jealous or don't have the growth mindset, right? Which is a lot of what we're talking about here within this whole summit, actually. And what matters the most is what we're saying to ourselves internally. So there's a thing called limiting beliefs, and I know that many of you out there have heard about that, right? But one of the things I like to really touch on is I like to kind of call it the storm within, right? And honestly, a storm breathes strength. So, there's a story in the Bible that is well known, and it talks about when Jesus asks one of his disciples to come out on the water with him, and the water is storming. It's just turbulent out there. It's crazy. And Jesus is just walking towards the boat and he's telling him, come on out. And he's saying, but it's scary. I can't walk on water. It's all of the things that were holding him back, right? And Jesus says, where's your faith? Where's your faith in yourself? Where's your faith in me? Where's your faith in this time, in this moment right now? I'm telling you to walk. You're going to walk strong. You're going to walk. So he starts to walk out there and he starts to sink and he says, help me. And then again, he says, where's your faith? And my point in bringing up this story in the Bible is that we often allow fear to hold us back. We often allow limiting beliefs to hold us back. And we often allow others, even in what they say, to hold us back, or fear of what others will say, even. So it's very important that we walk forward in our courage, and we walk forward in our faith, and we walk forward strongly. And when we do that, we come out on the other side that much stronger. So again, it doesn't matter what other people say. It matters how you show up.
So beautiful. Share about a storm that has been in your life that has shaped your point of view of the stigma other people choose to give us, or we choose to give ourselves. So what is a storm in your life you have really learned a ton of wisdom from?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, having a son with ADHD, it's extremely hard to walk through that with administrators and with other people that are friends that may not know you very well or may not know your son very well, doesn't know or understand the brain in that capacity. So let me start with this a little bit. ADHD is a different wiring of the brain, right? So they think differently. They think outside the box. They do things that are what people would consider not normal. Um, right? It's a neurodiverse, not a neurotypical. And the thing about that is that often that comes with judgment from others. People will say, oh, you're not really teaching them well. You're not doing this, you're not doing that. And it's a matter of, actually, I work with him day in and day out. but because his brain works this way or that way, it's hard for him to understand and really intake a lot of what we will explain to him. So there's judgment there. And I'd say one of the biggest moments was his 8th grade year when I would get phone call after phone call after phone call from the principal. And I just had a moment of just, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it on this guy because you're a mom and Mama Bear wants to come out, right? And I understand my son more than anything. But that was a really hard time because for me, it's like I'm hearing at every angle, you need to control your kid. And it's like, well, I am doing my best, here, and I am trying to explain things to him and do this and that. And honestly, he was getting in trouble over such minute things, talking in the hallway, chewing gum, like little bitty things that it's just like, I understand those are your school rules, but in an ADHD brain, when they want to do something, they don't really think. It's just brain to do, So, um, it was a very turbulent time for me, but it also was a blessing because, like I said, with the storm, out of that came the strength to start this business and start this company to make sure that no other parent ever feels alone again, and to start the strength-based therapy for families so that they understand how to teach those strengths to their children with ADHD.
Oh, girl, I did not know that about you. I can feel really touched about that story where you really honor like acknowledge, honor, see the growth, see the need, like see the solution that you have created by your life choices and what you have been through is a solution to so many others. And I really honor that. Like I really feel the connections around that. Just like me with my dad, he chose to take his own life in 2006. So suicide attempts as like really like consumed by darkness, self-harm, like violence on so many levels that all the step I have taken is also why I create the school for young girls with the sanctuary for families, because I really see there is a break, what do you call it? The system is not doing it to save the young girls for like suicide attempts as self-harm, cutting, picking, eating disorders, and you name it. Like they have been lived out as I've also been in the system, and they're not being taken care of at so because it's not meaning as a human. Like I remember one first time, like one of the time of the many times I was on the hospital, the nurse was just looking at me and she said, "Welcome, what kind of pills are you on?" I was like, "Could you just label me?
Yeah.
Why I'm coming on the hospital, I must be on pills." And I was not on pills. And I I'm so grateful for like I have leadership, done self-development, knowing some tools that I in that moment chose to take a stand for myself and say, I do not appreciate you to ask me that question because I'm not on pills. And right now you have labeled me, I'm on pills since I come here.
Mm.
And she say, sorry for that. Most people come here. Yeah. And I'm not most people. You're not what my experience, I can just make my experience as I tell her my experience, you see people come here as sick people because they must be on pills.
Yeah.
And she was just looking at a book, like what kind of system, like what kind of behavior did I have? Like I've been through all different kind of labels of mental illnesses. And she was not really look at me as a human, like really seeing what have I behind my back with me since I choose as I do. No, she was just taking the book literally and to the next page and reading, oh, you must have this, you must have this. I'm just like, you're not seeing me as a person. And
Yeah.
did stop for this. I stopped the program and called my doctor and say, you need to find a person that see me as a human, because I will not be in this here to figure out why I choose as to do. And she was recommended to a man that saw me as a human. We have different kind of talks, a lot of talks to the point I say yes to have a small pill of a different kind of pills that really serve me so that I can build on that. There was a new pill on the market and I was like, okay, okay to try it. It was a small one, and it was really serving me to really build it, to let go of after half a year, because he saw me as a human, like I was just seeing me as a human
Mm.
by all the labels that people have put, like judgment labels, like it kills a person to hear that. It was
Yeah.
also close to take my life in 2018 because of all the labels that I heard from people. So I just love by you really the things you have been through to see it as a solution to give that forward to others. Like I honor you for that, as I also do that for myself to young girls, so that they do not lose a parent or sister to suicide.
And I honor that about you. Suicide's also very close to my heart. Unfortunately, I've lost many to it. And I think that it is an extremely valuable thing to have out there for mental health. And exactly the labeling, it's one thing. Actually, recently there was a study done, and I cannot remember which college did it, but there's a college, you can look it up. There's a study done on empathy and how we're starting to lose it in these new generations, and I think with the loss of that empathy, we're starting to have those labels more and more come out, and people have that judgment more and more come out. So, it's our responsibility as humans to really come in and cause those mind shift to happen all over, to train up the next generation to have a mindset shift, excuse me, towards the strengths to propel ourselves forward, right? So, one of the things that I want to say first off is like with the labels, don't label yourself. You know, that's one thing. And I think that that's extremely strong of you, Tanya, to go in there and you were like not accepting it. You're like, don't
Yeah,
label me. I don't label myself. Don't label me,
yeah,
you know? And then you were able to overcome too in 2018 as well, because you knew like, that's not who I am.
yeah,
That's not where I want to be. I have more to give, which is extremely valuable. So we get to pay attention to what our self-talk is. We get to pay attention to what we take in from others, and then we get to take that and just like, okay, well, that's not for me, and push it out of our system. So do you have a lot of self-talk that's I am not, I can't, I don't know how to, or I can't, a lot of things like that that you need to shift in that mindset? Or can you come back around and take that to, I am shifting that to, I am courageous. I am, bold. I am intimate. I am this person. This is who I am. And the funny thing about the I am is we're really speaking in that moment what our character is, who we are.
yeah,
And that is important. So, what is your character? And start speaking that out. And we're talking about the mirror demon. That is one thing that has helped me a lot throughout this time because believe you me, starting a business is not for the faint of heart. It's extremely hard. It's extremely hard. There's there's been many moments, right, where you're just like,
oh my god, like
just want to give up. This is stressful. This is a lot. This is so much. But then you understand this is too important.
yeah, I just have like, as you saw me, Jamie, like you saw me just in the beginning, I was just like, oh, breathe through it and really hold the space. And that's why to you out there is so critical for you to be around powerful leaders. They are know the stance, know the value, really also take a stand for someone else, no matter how messy the other person is, and see the other person through the mess, and see the hearts by instead of like all what is coming out, because we all will have like a huge hot moment. So it's just like I am so hot right now. It's like my brain is just like woo, it's
Yep.
going down.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot. And those are, there's moments too where that's important. You know, what are your actions reflecting? As you speak about that, right? There's moments where you're going to need to take those relaxation breaks. You're
oh
going to
my
need to
god,
take
yeah,
those miracle walks. You're going to need to go take a breather. You're going to need to do something, and that's okay. In those moments, you get to think, what are my next action steps after
yeah.
this? What am I going to do from here? Are you allowing fear to hold you back? No, do not allow fear to hold you
Oh,
back.
hell no.
Are you going to give up easily just because it got hard for a minute or somebody said something? No, you're not, because you're stronger than that.
Yeah.
You're going to push forward and you're going to keep going. You're going to find out. We talked about this just a few days ago. What's working, what's not working.
Yeah, and what is one thing, guys, only one thing each day, what is one thing you get to shift so that you create a different kind of outcome? Not like, if you ask me the Jamie, like in the past, as in beginning in the leadership program we have been a part of for 3 years ago, I was like, I will shift everything.
Yeah.
It's like, everything get to be changed. Like, and the coach is like, no, no, only one thing. So I was like, what to pick?
Yeah.
And
I
now
mean,
I've learned it, like, just choose one and go with that instead of like, let me pick one first.
and that's a valid point too, because you think about it, it's like sometimes that's how we feel. We want to shift everything.
Yeah,
Nothing's working, this and that, but that's not true.
true.
It's absolutely not true because who you are is unique.
Yeah. Oh,
You are
amen.
somebody that needs to be living and walking the walk that you're supposed to walk. So don't lose who you are. Yes, all of us sometimes need a mindset shift. However, we get to come back and we get to step out of our comfort zone
Yeah,
and we also get to reflect on, okay, who am I? Right? I've been grown to be this way. I've been grown to be that way. How do I want to reflect that to the world?
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So,
and yeah, and also love this, like with cognitive team work, is just like when I really learned like everything is a mirror, like when I learned that for the first time, I have heard that since 2014 in my certificate coaching. I was like, not working for me. Like, that is not the case. That is not reality. Like, that person did that. That person said that. I was like, beep, 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 beep. Totally victim by my own actions. When I really learned like everything literally is a mirror into, I was like, God damn it, that hurt. I was like, okay, I can see that. And when I have a reaction, just like, what is that about me? Because we like the breakdown I have created, like as you know, Jamie, like in these summits, that is not about you, it is about me. So does that tell me about myself? Because we are doing the action we are doing is not to the other one, it is to for ourselves. So what is
right.
in me, I get to shift so that I create different kind of outcomes, so that I land in my communication on the next level, so that I create the high number. Like, what is one thing I get to shift and be neutral with it? Because like, what worked, what did not work, what is one
Mhm.
thing I get to shift? One of the questions I was like, what do I do specific good? What do I get to practice on? What is my gifts? So that is like the sandwich model that I learned in 2014. If I choose one thing in the top question, I also get to choose one thing the other one. If I choose three things, I also get to choose three things on the other one. So there's like a flow on answer on each one. Because guys, we know what we can change, we know what we can shift. What do you do specific good in that hot moment, in the mess of you doing self-development? What is your gift in that moment when you are a mess? To be a mess, great mess, take courage. Like, it takes a person to be courage. Like, will it be bold and brave to choose to do mess? Because it
Yeah.
takes a lot for someone to do a messy job.
Well, but and I think it's important to bring up too that sometimes, yeah, things can come out messy.
Yeah,
Things can be messy. Do it messy. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
It's about you doing it and you moving forward in it and your heart. Where's your heart
mm,
at with it, right? So then it's self-perception
yeah, amen.
and kind of coming back to that. So even though it's messy, are you failing? No, you're not failing. It might be messy, but you're not failing.
Yeah,
You're learning. You're moving forward. You're continuing on. You might be in the face of failure at times, but what do you get out of failure? You get to learn.
yeah,
You get to understand where to move next, what not to do next. You know, I really wish I had this in front of me right now. But there is an acronym for failure, and I don't
Oh, really?
remember it all. But everyone watching, please look up the acronym for failure because it's
I can.
so amazing. I wish I had it in front of me
Oh
because
my
it
God,
just,
girls like, oh, I'm curious about that
yeah,
one.
it's a really good one. But don't avoid failure because out of failure comes a whole lot of new strengths and a whole lot of momentum forward.
I love
So,
that. What one of the things that's like has been like failure or receiving a no for someone, no means not now, was creating like a goal to hit 1,000 no's.
mhm,
So I'm like, scratch, oh, I hit one more no, and once I have like created the fear, the challenge I have into something that is fun, enjoyable. Like for me in the past, it was a challenge moment for me to receive a no because I feel it was something about me where it's not the case, and where I just like, okay, I get to create something around this so that I'm okay with receiving a no. And there's creating a goal to hit 1,000 no's to have a little bit fun. So like, oh, one more.
and I
I'm
can
closer to
understand.
1,000.
Well, but the thing is too, like you just said, no is means not yet.
Yeah,
You're putting yourself out there in front of that person, and then
yeah,
you continue moving forward. Often they come back around,
true.
very often, especially once you're really hitting that momentum. And sometimes that's why it's a no, because they're like, well, I want to see some momentum out of you first. Great. Let me show you, right? Show the world otherwise.
Yeah, show yourself first, as I see, show yourself first by
Yeah.
afterward you will show the world. Like one of the things, like when I was a lifeguard, like in a swimming hall, that was the first time I had PTSD, I had borderline, and I have depression, and I know I was in a challenge moment. So I said that to my boss, and he was like, I'm unsure about I will hire you, Tanja. So you get to prove you are the right one to this job. I was like, hell no. I said to him, the only one person I get to prove something for is myself. So everything I do here is for me. So if you don't like me, you will just take me off. And he was just like, what? I was like, did I say that? I was like, oh yes, I said that. So this is just perfect
But that's
from,
okay.
yeah, it is. So how do a person go from limited, or that word girl, limited belief to superpower? Like, how do a
Mhm.
person go from that to shift into create that as a superpower?
Yeah. So I have found it, and believe me, I dealt with a lot of limiting beliefs, particularly even sitting here. This is something that I thought I could have never done before. Now, mind you, this is my third summit, I think, at this point, speaking, um, or even doing my own summit, right?
Oh
It's
my God.
like speaking to other experts, speaking to this and that, like, or even opening a business, like, who am I? There's a whole lot of that goes on. And I think that that's in everybody's brain, you know? But I think that the most important thing that you're coming back to is that once again, the mindset is a huge important thing. Um, Having the goals, Harvard actually did a study. Oh, it's been years ago, but they did a study to where they asked students when they graduated if they had goals. I think it was somewhere around 70% of them answered that they had their goals, they knew what they were, and and then they asked the question, how many have written them down? And only 5% had, right? 5%. Well, 20 years later, when they had their 20-year reunion, they came back and they asked and, on those goals and seeing how many people had actually reached the goals. Only that 5% had written them down, had reached their goals. So it's extremely important to start writing things down. Your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, everything, write them down because that will get you places. There's something about the pen to paper that really helps your brain to process and understand this is where we're going, right?
Oh, so good.
So that helps a lot with the limiting beliefs right there,
Yeah.
the mindset shift. And then also coming into the mirror every morning, affirmations. them out. They are so powerful. You know, one of the things I like to get a lot of my promises out of, I am a Christian. I love the Lord. That's a huge part of who I am.
Mm.
And I get a lot of my belief systems and my affirmations from what the Lord says about me, from what He says about the promises He has for us. And I've written a lot of those down. I'll speak them out daily in the morning. My husband does the same thing. It's actually, that's how I got to do it, because my husband started it, and he's way better at that reading stuff than I am. I'm not gonna lie. So, but there's so much wisdom in it, and and it's in everything. Buddhism says just a different version, a lot of what that says. Hinduism, like there are um truths in all those things. So it's important to have the affirmations right out there. I'd
Yeah.
also like, to say, fix your eyes on your strengths, and they are
Mm.
there. You have a lot of strengths within you, and you need help finding them. Tanya can help you with that. That's something she specializes in. She's very
Sure.
good at it. And if you have anyone with ADHD and you want to find their strengths, we can help. I'll throw that out there too, as a
So,
parent.
so
So, but
you,
yeah,
so you guys, like Jimmy, have a free gift. So she will share about that in a bit. So the last thing, my friend, yeah, I would like you to share into about is the mindset strength. Because in the past, as you know a little bit part of my story, that I believe for the first time in God in 2000 and the 21 April 2019 was the first day I prayed like to God, like up to the sky. I was so desperate to give me a sign. And it is just so interesting because in church I go at on Sunday was behind that, why did I not believe on that? Why did I not believe in him? Was because I could not understand how a person that stand by love as God do, like all about love, connection, can choose to bring so much pain in my life that I have been living in for or 30 years, and I'm 37. So most of my life, as you can imagine, have been lived in darkness, pain, self-harm, self-violence. Like I've done and experienced all 8 different kind of violence. Also like how a kind person that's all about love give me or bring that kind of pain or darkness to my life. And that was really a soul afterwards where I did the healing and did like the mirror work, like Conquer Mirror Demon, where I really I get to get connected with the demons in me. And that was the summer 2020 for the first time really like I get to get connected with my demons because I was not really real and honest with myself. What is the self-talk I have to myself that I'm not speaking to others because I was so afraid for people to hear the words or the darkness that had come in my mind. And I saw on that point that God bring me that into my life because He know that I have the mindset strength to go through it so that I can serve others with it.
right.
I did not see that in the past that all that, how can that be love from Him? And I see it now because the mindset strength that I have been through all the darkness has been God's gift to my life so that I could give it forward because He saw me as a strong woman that can go through it and not choosing to end her life that I was close to in the car.
Yeah. I mean, that is beautifully spoken right there. I don't really need to add to that one because, well, because it's true, and I know many of us on here, even myself included, have been through the ringer and have had those feelings in the past too. Like, how could, dot, 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 dot.
Yeah.
But then you learn with the strength on the other side. We don't learn how to sail in smooth waters. We don't. You know what I mean? So if we want to learn how to walk through those rough waters, how to get through those rough waters, we have to learn how to sail in the first place and how to be extremely well, at it. And I think that was a valuable lesson I've had to learn too in the past, the Lord and with who He was and everything He went through. that I've been through myself that has been extremely difficult, not just my child, but before I was married, all of that stuff. And I
Mm.
won't get into that because that's a long story. But I'll come back
Mm.
to what we just talked about with the mindset and how we get there. And I think the most important things that we need to really focus on is number one, pay attention to our self-talk.
Yeah.
Number two, what are your actions reflecting? Number three, what is the self-perception you have? And then you need to come back around, fix your eyes on the strengths you have, the strengths you desire or see in others, learn from them, and take them for yourselves. And then before you know it, you're walking in the strength and in everything that you say and speak about yourself, and you're showing the world otherwise.
And that leads into the free gift Jamie have to you guys. So what is that? And guys that's here with us live, I will just post her free gift in the chat. And before Jamie sharing about what the free gift is about, please share the freebie with 3 of your friends in your life that you see can really benefit from her gift that she will share with you now. And being service to your friends, to your network, it's also a way for you to get connected with your friends, to get to know them on a deeper level, to know what are they fighting with behind, like what their need is. So it is a good way for you in this Christmas time to bring her gift forward to at least 3 of your friends that you see that can benefit for this. And I know you have 3 friends because I have 3 friends in my life, and most of my friends have done leadership for years. Some and still need work. Like it is a work in progress our whole life. Welcome to be a human. So Jamie or Love, please share about the amazing free gift you have to give.
Absolutely. So Productivity 101 is a workbook where you can just go through it and you're able to just really help yourself to understand where my downfalls are, how I can push through this, and how I can be my most productive self. So, it's my gift to you. But the other fun thing is that you can go to my website, and this is completely free as well. And you can take a strength assessment. We have one for adults, one for children, but the parent take for the child, that is, where you figure out if you have ADHD, what your strength is. I'm to speak with you today, Tanya. Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome, my friend. And before Jamie is going off this chat, guys, it's you that is here on live. You have opportunities to get unmuted and ask Jamie a question or share an insight or share a aha moment. You have the opportunities right now to ask her when she's here with us. I'm committed 80, so I'm reasons a lot. Andrea, do you have like a question for Jamie you would like to ask? And thank you so much for your beautiful post in the chat. You can ask the questions in the chat. So if you have a question, you can write that in the chat, and Jamie will love to answer that question you have for you. So thank you so much for being with your emotions. Your emotions is value, and it is so needed for you to experience that because that means you are ready to break through it because it's emotions coming to us when we are ready to look at them. So congratulations, my friends. You are really bold and brave to be in the moment to make the change that is needed for you.
Yes, I agree. Wonderful.
So Andrea, if you have a questions, please post it in the chat and she will answer it. And also to you, Shannon, what kind of word? I'm so nerdy. That is like next level my leadership to not get so nerdy about first
Well,
name.
yes. Shanna and Andre, nice to meet you both. And feel free, Andre, I'm believing, and if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize, to go on there and figure out what your strengths are because you get to live a life of fulfillment as well.
I'm trying to get through every day, but what can I do to be the role model I choose to be for others?
So, I think we just spoke a lot on this one, but it's what is your actions? We talked a little bit about humility as well, and that's okay. I saw that in the chat just now. That's okay. That's okay because You're actually in a position where you get to really walk out the faith. You get to really walk out the humility with others that are in the same boat. And the one thing about that is that when you're able to walk through life grateful for what you have in the moment and able to really walk into and strengthen that, what is little is given, right? And you are responsible with, much more will be given as well. So start small. Start by talking to the people around you that you're around every day, encouraging them, loving on them, lifting them up in every way, and in seeing what their light is as well and lifting them up in that way. And then start doing it outside of that too, because obviously you're on a computer right now, right? You're on a phone, whichever you're on, and you're able to really start doing that online and sharing, just like we're doing right now, but just yourself. Start sharing the wisdom you have within.
Good one. Is it something else? I believe both these ladies that's with us. There's always nice, like, what, Jamie, to the people that see this interview, what is the one thing you would like people to go with, and also to the people that's here with on Zoom, like, because there is a lot of wisdom, there's a lot of like growth, there's a lot of takeout from it. Like, what is the one thing you would like the audience to go with to choose the one thing to choose some action on?
I would say you're stronger than you know. You know, I know it's something that we've heard before from Winnie the Pooh, had like a good little quote with it as well, and I don't remember the whole quote, but you are stronger than you know. You know, that is one thing I really had to learn myself the hard way, in the sense of, well, I don't know if I could handle all that or if I can do all that, but here I am doing it, you know, and this is going from a stay-at-home mom for 14 years on my, own, while my husband deployed often and was in the military and did a lot of other things. I didn't think I had what it took, but here I am. You're stronger than you know.
So true. So true. And I also believe like everything in life is a miracle. Like everything in life, there's a meaning with it. No matter where we are in life, no matter the experience, no matter where we are, there is a why behind that, why we experience that. And when I heard this for the first time, it freaked me the hell out. Just like everything is just like, no, it's not. Oh yes, it is.
It's
I was so nerdy the first time. I was
absolutely
like the little girl saying, mm-mm. Oh, no, no, no.
no. Yes, but we get to walk through it, and we get to walk through it in courage.
Yeah. So everything is a chance to see like what you're going through, Andrea. If I say your name correctly, like see it as a gift, see it as a choice, because in that you choose to be responsible for whatever you go through, instead of being a victim. So if there's something I go through that is really kicking me in the butt, and I just like, oh my, I just like, okay, I choose it. So what do I choose to go through it? Because when I choose it, my brain is like, oh, okay, there's a little bit ease, a little bit like settle, a little bit silence my mind. Okay, what do I choose to go through it? Because when I choose to say, okay, I chose it, I choose to let go of whatever noises that's in front of me. I was just like, okay, I surrender to the moment. I have just chose this. So what do I choose next to step forward into it? That has really served me in so many areas. When I'm just like embracing everything as a choice. um,
Amen.
I just need to go to a higher place. Oh my.
Mhm.
You are most welcome. Where can people find you on Instagram, my friend, Jamie? Because that's I forgot to say to you, like in the beginning of your Zoom
Yeah,
video.
no worries. So, my Instagram is at jamiekcopeland.com. Jamie spelled Jamie. obviously K and then COPELAND. You can find me there. And then on Facebook, you can find us at Strategic U or Strategic U Community. And then, of course, my website is strategicucommunity.com, where you can find all the social medias.
Nice. And the last thing to you guys that is here with us, thank you so much for being here with us, and also for you to see this pre-record afterwards, and to you that's live with us on YouTube. We are so grateful for you to choosing here. So next step for you is grabbing Jamie's free gift that I will just let's see here. You just have that in the chat, and I will post it in again. So please take that link, click on it so that you have it, and it will also come into your emails as to you that see this live on YouTube. Click on the link or hit get access to the summit. On the second page, there is your opportunity to get access to it, and it's out there for 24 hours. So jump in to get it, to share it with 3 people in your life, to be in service and get out of your bubble, because by you serving other people, they need this work as Jim is doing. You are choosing to step forward, you're choosing some actions, you're choosing yourself, you're choosing transformation because you're in service for others, that only being in your own little bubble, because that's, sorry to say, it's just killing your light and energy, and you do not want to do the things that is needed because it's all about you. Start to give forward to people. That is a beautiful way where you can start your transformations and jump in this free gift, take the actions. Jamie is a powerhouse. She have so much love and compassion, no matter how big mess you are. I just experienced that. So I'm proof on that. So Jamie is so loving, and she have huge wisdom in for what she talk about, and she have a big stand for it. So thank you so much for everyone for being here, and thank you so much, Jamie, for being a person that don't see mental illnesses as a label, and you see them as a human being, as a living soul, as a spirit, and you see through all the noises that get to see through it, for a person to be seen, heard, and met where they are right now in this moment. So thank you so much for being that person for me and other people you are here to serve.
And thank you for your heart, Tanja, and serving all of this community. It's amazing.
You're most welcome, my friends. So to you guys out there, Merry Christmas, and thank you so much for watching. We cannot wait to meet you here on Zoom with us and get to know who you are and be connected with you. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all.